Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We have Kat next door today. This is the second day, so it is our second look at the Joys of Summer collection. This is our brand new launch. It launched yesterday, if you missed the shows yesterday, and we are approaching limited stock on the collection. Some of the dies have gone individually as well, so the only way that you can get everything in this bundle is to get the full collection. It is a huge collection. I'm going to start off with the card shape that we've got on here, the suspended frame card shape. This gives you the ability to have this pop out circle in the center, and then you've got a stunning frame there. You can see this rectangle that you could use as the front completely on its own, and you've got lots of different variations that you can put that through. You've got sentiments in here, really nice big size sentiments. You've got your sunshine friends, you've got your characters in there that we love from Carnation that you can mix up and build into your scenes. You've got countryside features, so you've got your elements there that you can see to build those scenes up and put them together. Then we have our bloomed in sunlight. This is such, I'm going to just turn it around so you can see, because this is such a pretty die, but look at the size on the flowers that you're getting. You're getting so many dies in there to be able to use with other collections as well. You've got your anti-aging cream, your wrinkle cream, your suntan lotion in there. You've got your lawnmower, you've got darts, you've got a golf ball, you've got your beer can and your beer bottle, and you've got your drill and your measuring tape. There is so much in here, and I feel like it ticks so many boxes going through different themes. You've got your men's covered, you've got your florals, you've got absolutely something for everybody in that kit, which is why I think it's been so popular. Now I'm going to quickly mention, because we have also got on the show our frame. So we've got our stage reveal card shape. Now I'm going to flip this round again so you can see how detailed this is. It's such a lovely size die as well. I love that you get all of the dies for each layer. So one cut and you've got all of your mats to go in there. So no measuring, no cutting out, everything is done for you. And I will show you the samples so you can see exactly what that looks like in a minute. And then we've also got our perfect papers. Now this one, you've got that gingham check style, you've got the dainty daisy there and the solid, so you can see the colorways in there, so you can see exactly what they look like. So pretty. Obviously the colors in there coordinate perfectly with the colors in the artwork, so they're going to coordinate without thinking about it. But we'll run through the boards and then we'll go through some of the samples. You can see this is the suspended card shape. Now look at how pretty this is. You've got that frame, you've got that floral in the center. Use this all year round on its own. It's going to give you the most pretty background front of your card. I also think you could use that Christmas time, because it just looks like flowers. Use it in white, use it in gold. It's going to look so pretty. But you've also got this element. Now this is going to be that pop on the inside of your card. It could be in the center. There's lots of different ways the design team have actually put these together. Equally, use this oval completely on its own. We did a card yesterday in the show. Have I still got it? Where I used this oval as the card on its own. So you can make cards like that as well. There's so much you can do just with this die here alone. So you could use that on its own, or this is going to be that pop-up element. So you've got this die here, and that will sit in the center of your card. So I've got the die here. So you can see that little notch. That is what goes on the fold. So where the scoreline of your card is, that sits there. And then this cuts those two little notches into your card where these tabs go in. And these tabs then are what you glue that oval onto, which gives you, I'm just seeing if I've got, hang on, that pop. So you can see they go in there. So this one I did do a bit differently. So what you would do is that would be straight and that would be the inside. And then you have that like that, or I folded it so it's going to sound like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can actually put these together. But you've got that lovely pop-up element there, and because this has been designed, it's got floral, it's got lovely detail in the frame. You could use that with so many other collections. That's a card shape that you will keep out and use all year round. Then we go on to Bloomed in Sunlight. This is such a pretty one. I love the size of these as well. They fit anywhere. They've got lovely composition on them, so they can just fit into any type of card or project. You can add these around and make it into a wreath. You can do so much with these. You've got those lovely big flower heads as well. You can decoupage on top if you want. Now this is the one that's gone on its own. So if you do want this, getting it in the bundle is going to be the only way that you can get it. And then you have these elements that you can add in as decoupage. You could put them on top, but you can absolutely use these completely on their own and make up your own little display, or add them in around like your country scenes, and you can use these completely on their own, and they work so well. So you've got them in there as well. Then we go on to Perfect Flight. So you've got your dart and I think the most detailed golf ball there, so you can mix and match these in. So perfect for those mail cards. I was saying yesterday, my friend, her mum absolutely loves golf, so you can mix and match these up and do them in different ways. Then you've got Measure Twice. So you've got your drill and your measuring tape to mix in, and when you see these with the sentiments as well, I think they work so well. Then you've got Just Rewards. You've got your beer and your can there, so I think we all know somebody that we can give a card with that on. Then you've got Forever Young. Now I love this because you've got two different artworks for this. You've got your SPF sun cream. So if you were doing like a gardening type card, you could add that in. And then we've got our anti-aging cream as well, which I think is so fun. And me and Dave were saying yesterday, I don't think I've ever seen a die for anti-aging cream, but I think that is just such a fun die to have and be able to use on your cards and projects. Then you've got your lawn maintenance, you've got your lawnmower, you've got that fork, and I love they've got the little hat there. It really gives you the illusion that fork is just sticking in at an angle, and you've got the hat there hanging on top. Then you've got your Sunshine Friends. I love him. Look at him just sat there reading a book. You've got your squirrel, you've got the bunny. You can add things onto her tray. You can add things into their hands as well. So you could put the drinks in her hand. Maybe she's carrying the bag in. You've got the blanket there that they can be sat on. So you can mix and match these up. They fit into the scenes really, really easily. And other collections you'll have as well, they will fit into. And then you've got countryside features. So these just come together so easy. And you can see how, he can be sat there on the log, or he can be sat in front of there, sat there. They just work so well without even doing anything. You can just see how they come together really easily. And then you do have your die sentiments. So you've got the die sentiments in the kit. So you've got Another Year More Wonderful with Quiet Thoughts, Your Day, Your Way, and Sent with a Smile. So you've got them. There's the mats to go with them, so you can really make them stand out on your projects. That is the complete Joys of Summer collection. Okay, it is on a show price of $139.99. That is going to go back up on Friday. You've got your free P&P in there, but there is so much in that collection. Okay, so have a look. But then we do also have the stage reveal card. I'm going to flip it like that just so you can see all of the mats that you have in here. You've got everything. You're going to do one cut for that outside, and that gives you the complete card like that. And you can see how detailed they are. This is in that one die, so you haven't got to go in and do multiples. You've got all of the mats to go on each layer, so you can add all of those in one run to your die cutting machine. And then this is the part that clips in there, and then this is the bit that holds on to your oval to make that pop-up mechanism. We did demo this yesterday. I am going to do it again today though, so you can see exactly how that comes together, because I feel like it looks more complicated than it is. I am going to show you some of the design team samples though, so you can see exactly what they have been up to with these. So we've got Scent with a Smile. Look at him there, this little SPF. They just look so cute. And then we've got one here. So Pam did this one. How pretty. I love the fact that you can go from something so detailed, so pretty with the florals, to something like that then with the drill. And how lovely is that as well? If you know somebody, like I was saying yesterday, I've got a friend and she absolutely loves doing DIY. She has no idea how to do it, but she's got all the tools and she tries doing absolutely everything. So like a card like this would be perfect for her. Then we've got one here. No one measures up to you. And then I'm going to show you this one. Pam did this. So you can see now, this is the front. Now, like we showed you, you could already use this completely on its own, and that looks stunning, just like that. And you could use them as mats and layers. But then if you use the pop-up part, look at that. It's so, so pretty. And honestly, it's so easy to do, and it looks so effective. Looks really pretty. Then we've got one here. Look at this one. Vera did that. That is so pretty. Bringing in those florals with the darts. Then we've got one here by Pam. So you've got On Your Day, Your Way. And you can see how those florals and those scenes, they just come into their own. And the sentiments, you can see they're to the most terrific guy. So if you're wondering where those sentiments have come from, they have come from the website. So when you go over to the website and you download your artwork, you're going to download the backing papers on there as well. You're also got, oh, I'm just going to show that one because look at that. That's just two little bits of the decoupage with the sentiment. But how pretty does that look? Who did that one? Sue did that. That's so pretty, Sue. I love actually how she's added in the flowers too. So this background is one of the free backgrounds you can download. And then she's added in the flower onto the pattern look that's on the side. That looks so lovely. Right, so the sentiments, I'm going to just grab so you can see, because when you go on the website, download your artwork, you're going to download the backing papers, but you can also download these, which are the most fun. I feel like we should do these for every cut. They are the most fun sentiments and they match in to the die. So, you know, you always hit the mark. So you can, you old dart, hope your day hits the bullseye. So you can see where these go in. You've nailed it. You fix everything, including bad days. So you've got meaningful ones and you've got funny ones as well to add in. But you can see how they'll go in to the world's best fixer-upper. Measure twice, cut once, then go get another piece and measure it properly and cut again. No one measures up to you. So you've got different ones in there. I feel like you've got, especially if, I always say men's cards, it can be so awkward to make. These, I feel like they just tick that box so well with these in there as well. So you can see you've got some really nice ones in there. You've got some that go with everything. So them are the sentiments that you can see on the cards that we're showing you. So you know where they've come from. And then I'm just going to show you some of the samples using the stage reveal card, so you can see how that comes together. And if somebody did message in yesterday asking if there was a sheet or if there was something on the website that showed you exactly how they come together. Now, we've got a couple of the design team cards here, and I'm going to show you because they all look different. So I don't feel like there's a right or wrong way of putting this together. Because this one, you can see the center part is in the back. So you've got these there in the front, so it kind of opens up like that. And then if I grab this one, Sue did this. Sue has actually used two of the cards. So it stands like this. And you can see, if I just So you've got 2 on each side, and then you've got that in the middle. So there's another way of using it. Then if I grab, oh, Sue did this one as well. So if I grab this one, you've got the circle there at the front. So it's going that way. So there's lots of different ways that you can mix this up. I feel like the more you play with it, the more ways that you'll find of doing it. So even that one there where they've cut the aperture into the center, that looks completely different again. But because it is one cut, it's one run through the die cutting machine, and you've got that base there straight away, you can go in and play around with it because it is just one cut. So you don't have to cut out multiples of each one to be able to go in, which is what we love, because we can do one cut of that, run through the die cutting machine, and then you can just start crafting, which is what we want, isn't it? We don't want to be there worrying about cutting everything out. So that is what we've got there. Now, I am going to use that one first to make a card. So I am going to do this. I'm just going to grab some of the perfect papers, I feel. Do I use perfect papers? Yes, I am going to use perfect papers. And I'm going to grab the same colour if I have one. I do. So I'm going to use the solid. So I'm using the same colour that we've got in the back. I'll flick through some of mine, but I don't have that many, to be honest. You've got your daisy, you've got your solids. See if I can get one from every colourway. Your check. Am I missing a colour? Light green. There, so you got all the colours. So you got your light blue, your dark and light green, and then you've got that like orangey dark cream and the light cream there. But you can see the patterns on there, but a really nice colourway. I always say the perfect papers for me are kind of like a nice staple to get anyway, but obviously they do work perfectly with the collection. Right, now, so you're going to run this through your die cutting machine. So you've got your base. Now I've used the darker green to cut out the matte. Now I love this because there is no measuring, there is no cutting out, scoring, there's nothing like that. All we've got to do is just run these through, and like I said, I've got an A4 die cutting machine, and I use a magnetic sheet. I wouldn't try doing it without a magnetic sheet because I don't trust myself. The girls here do. I don't know how they do it, but they will put their dies onto their sheets, multiple dies, and run it through, and none of them move. Not slightly move. They die cut them out perfectly, and I don't know how they do it. Mine, even sometimes with the magnetic sheet, mine will still move. Kat saying she tapes everything I do because I don't know what I do, but I just can't get them to stay still. Yeah, and me. Kat saying sometimes even when she tapes them, they'll still move, and I'm exactly the same. So I will use the magnetic sheet when I'm doing something like this, and I'll pop them all down on the magnetic sheet, and then I know they're not going to move, and then I can just pop the sheet on top, and then they'll all run through. So I'm going to add in these. Now they are very detailed. You can kind of see the detail that you've got on those. So we're going to pop these in. So can you see? You can see all those cut lines, and that's in every single one. So you get that detail in all of them. But so even them just on their own. And I think we did one of these yesterday on white on white. And even just on white, they looked amazing, didn't they? So we're gonna pop, I'm gonna pop this in first, because otherwise I know me, I'll put the mat down, and I'll forget about it, and then I'll put the layer on the wrong place. So I'm just going to pop that in there. You can see you've got the cut lines. They come in with the die for you, so you're not worrying about anything. Just going to pop that in. And no, actually I'm fine. I don't need to worry about covering that bit. Let's pop don't need that. Let's get this mat. Oh, right, while I'm sticking this down, I'm just going to let Kat know because I can't hear her. But I am just going to pop these mats in here. And you've got larger ones which are going to go on these panels. So you don't have to worry, like I've cut all these out beforehand. Some of them are slightly different sizes, but as you can see, you can easily see which ones go where. You don't have to worry about trying to remember which one goes where, because the squares are all the same size, so they will just fit into the square part. And you've got your score lines there as well, so you can see where they're going. And then you've got these two sections here which are slightly longer than the others, so they will just go in there. So we're going to pop that one there like that, and we need this one to go up here, and the same with these. You'll put one in. Even if I try putting that on the other side, you'll see that it doesn't quite fit, so you can easily just place it where it needs to go and pop that there like that. And where's that long piece there? These are the same either side, so you don't need to worry about remembering which one goes where. These would be good actually to cut out with elevated, because then you'd have all of these slightly elevated over the other ones. Got this, go there, and these would cut out quite good with elevate as well because they're quite big. And then I'll add them in last. I need, where's that there? Right, so we put them in. So I'm going to leave the little square bits for a minute just to show you. We're going to add in this bottom section. So again, so like that, you need two of these. Okay, so you've got a score line in there, and you can see you've got those little cut pieces, and you've got those same cut pieces there as well. So all you're going to do is just pop them in there, and this is the way that I've been doing it. But like I showed you, when I showed you some of the design team cards, they have done them in different ways. So like if I grab, is that one? Some of them have been done where they've stuck them on the front. See that one? It's been stuck on. So there's different ways that you can put these together. For me, I think it depends how you want it to be at the end. Like you could glue that bit in, and then this bit just moves, so that bit doesn't. But you do have that score line there, so you could move that score line if you needed to. But I'm going to add in those smaller squares on here as well. And then we can see how we go with this. Right, so we'll add in these smaller ones, and then we can add these in. So let's put them in there. And then we can add in the next bit then. So your next bit that you're going to add in is these. So you're going to cut out two of these. And actually, oh, I've missed it. Let's add this one in. And then we can add in the next bit then. I think these would make great wedding cards as well. just all cut out in white, and they'd be great. But we're going to add in those tabs. Now the next bit that we're going to add in is the bit that will go hold that oval in place. So you've got 2 of these that you're going to cut out, and then you can see those score lines that are in there. So we're going to fold these, and you just fold them back on themselves and then out. So your score lines are in there, the die does all the work for you. So that's like that. So you've got that shape there. So we're going to do 2 of them and fold them back like that. So you've got 2 of these. Now once you've done that, I find it easier to just glue these bits as I'm doing it. So just pop a little bit of glue on there and a little bit of glue there. And then we're going to grab that, and you're going to just pop that through there like that. And then same on the other side. That's just going to fit through there, and that's going to go on there like that. So now you've got that. It's a bit hard to show, isn't it? But you can see it, can't you? So that bit is like that. So now if you're thinking, well, what on earth is that for? That, I'm just straightening that, is what is going to sit on that oval. So that is what you're going to glue that to. So that obviously has something to grab onto. So I'm just going to hold that there for a sec because it's moving. And then let's do the same on the other side. So you've got your 2 tabs. I'm going to glue that bit and that bit. I feel like I've added way too much glue on there. Right. Oh. So again, 1 tab goes straight in, and then fold that one, and you've got that there, like that. So you've got your 2 tabs that your oval are going to fit on. So I'm just going to hold that for 2 seconds so that grabs. So I always set, sometimes I do use red liner tape when I'm doing a demo just to speed things up, but always, if you're doing something like this that's got movement to it, always use a wet glue so you get that proper grab when you are making your project. Now we've got that, so this oval now is going to sit on there, so that's got the element to hold on to. So I can just add a little bit of glue on there and there. And then that will just sit on there like that. And then while I wait for that to set, we'll add in the mats to go on the side of them, because you do get the mats, you get the mats for everything. The die covers every area for you. So that is going to sit there, and then other side is going to go by there. Now you've got your card base. So essentially, in all of that, I have done 2 passes. So I do use an A4 cutting machine at home. I have done 2 passes of my die cutting machine, one for the base, and in the base, because you've got this empty space in the middle, what I do is I add in these sections. So you're doing 1 sheet of your perfect papers. So we've got 1 run for the light green, and then the second run for the darker green. And you have now got your card base for any project that you essentially want to do. This could be a wedding card, it could be an Easter card, it could be a birthday card, a thank you card, it could be absolutely anything, but you have got such a stunning base there ready to go. So that's 2 runs of your die cutting machine, and you've got that base. Now, so before you've even thought about, oh, what dies am I going to use? What occasion am I going to do it? If you make and sell, to be able to get that on 2 passes of your die cutting machine, I think is quite special. So we've got our base ready to go. Let's start decorating. So I'm going to go in with my oval in the center. So let's pop that in there just to break that up a bit. And then I'm going to add in, so I've got my sentiments. I've got Another Year More Wonderful. So I've done that in the same colorways, but I've done a white background just to make that green stand out a bit more. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to decorate. I feel like we should decorate the center and not the outside. So let's do this. So I'm going to add this on here. So let's add this in. It is really pretty. I love that you've got the different composures though. You've got, you know, some that will just sit there so easily and they can just sit in any corner, or equally they could sit completely on their own. But then these you can mix in and they can work anywhere. So you can cover, they cover all your bases really. It doesn't matter what type of card you do, what shape you've got, anything at all, you're covered with these. That's gonna go there, so I'm kind of just covering that up. And then what I'm going to do, because I do kind of want it to flow a bit with the sentiment, so I'm going to stick this sentiment on first so I can see where everything lands. So let's just pop this in. So again, I've used the same Perfect Papers, that light green from the set. So this is going to coordinate with, I love this colour green. It's fresh, isn't it? It's really, it's not yeah, it's not like a really bright green, but it's not, it still stands out as well. It's just, I don't know, it's really pretty, as you can see. So I've done that on white. Actually, I think it's the Blush Natural, that is. So this stands out a bit more. If I'd have done this on the same green in the Perfect Paper, then I would have lost it a bit, and I want that to stand out. So just adding in that other colourway there really brings that out. So we're going to add that in there, and then I want the flowers on here now to really just pop out. So I'm going to add some of the decoupage in, and I'm also going to add in some of the other florals as well. Now these, you get these in so many different ways. Do not be afraid to go in and snip these down, because you can use these. Let me add the flower in first. They will fit anywhere. You could use these for so much more than just these and just the decoupage. You'll use these. I think they'll be your go-to for almost anything, any type of project, and any scenes. If you've got any scene building elements from Carnation, these will fit in all of them, because they would just go anywhere at all. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to add in, I'm going to add one there, I think. So add that in there just to bring that up a bit more. And I'm going to put this in here. And what I'm going to do, because that flower is the other way, I'm going to turn it. So I'm going to put that in upside down to make that go the other way. I'm going to add this one in there. And this to me now is where you can just lose yourself and have fun and just be, well, shall I add that in? Now this, so can you see where I've cut bit of the flower off. So if you just follow that leaf, and remember, you're not fussy cutting with carnation, all you're doing is just following those cut lines, and now you got a completely different looking one. That looks fine. That doesn't look as if I've cut into that at all. So you can now add that in, which is what I love. You can always, I think that's why I find carnation so easy to make cards with, because you can always find what you need. I never look at the collection and think, oh, but it just needs, I need to add something to go there, or that just doesn't fit with this. Everything is there. You don't need to go looking for anything at all. There, I'm going to stop. So now if I lift that up, we've got your card. So you can have it like this, or if we fold it back on itself, the other way, you could have it so that that will stand out that way. So you could have it either way you want it to go, or obviously, like I think if Sue did, you could add another one in, so you've got two. There's so many ways that you can play around with these. Then I think that's kind of the fun bit, isn't it? If you're going in and thinking, oh, what shall I do? Shall I do it this way? And you'll do it. Maybe you'll cut it out and you'll do it exactly like this. But then when you've done this, you'll think, oh, actually, do you know what? If I cut it this way, maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. And you'll think of a completely different way of using it again that maybe even we haven't shown you at all. But you can see, so I did use the Stage Reveal card shape for that one, but I've also used the Bloomed in Sunlight, which is from the main collection that you can see there, and that is the only place that you can get that die. So it has sold out individually. So if you do want to grab the Bloomed in Sunlight, the big collection is the only place that you can get it. But you can see such a lovely collection, such a big collection as well. It's absolutely so pretty, but also ticks those boxes for the men's cards as well, which I think that's why it's been so popular, because I think there's just a mix of everything in there. So it just works so well. I'm gonna grab some samples. Let me grab some from over here, because you've seen some from there just now. So let me grab some different ones. So this one is using the suspended frame, so you can see how pretty that looks. I love that though, just on its own. That could be the front of your card. You know, you don't even have to worry about adding that in. And you know, if you've seen that, you would just be like, that is a stunning card. And then to open it and have that inside as well is just wow. Oh, we've got a message from Linda. Oh, so Linda's just messaged saying good morning. Morning, Linda, saying that she's delayed watching the show today because she's been out walking the dog and she was delayed because there's lots of trees down from the storm. Well, fingers crossed you are home safe now and you enjoyed your walk. Oh, and she's loving the colours in the florals. Me too. I think they work so well. And with so many other collections as well. Now this one, I'm just going to touch on. Fiona did this. And you can see Fiona's used Elevate in the background to leave those pieces in. So this is a really nice way of using Elevate, because you can cut this out and then you can pop it in and you leave all of those pieces in the die there. But it gives you some real dimension on that one. And then we've got one there, look. So you got your darts with your drinks there. What does that one say? Save water, drink beer instead. And then we've got one here. So you've got one here by Vera. Look at that again. Just looks so pretty. And then They're amazing, aren't they? They're just so, just love how easy they are to do as well. And then again, look. To the king of DIY, may your projects be short, your swearing be mild, and your beer be cold. It's hard reading that there on that little screen. How good is that? Have a drink on us. And the sentiments, like I said, they are available as a free download in the exact same place you're going to get the artwork, the background papers. You will also get the sentiments there as well. So you've got have a blooming lovely day. And again, like that sentiment, how many florals have you got that you could use that with as well? So you can mix and match these up. Like there was one, what was the one yesterday that I was saying would be great for a crafter? There was one, oh, that's going to annoy me. Hang on. That's not. Yeah, I feel like it was one of the DIY. You've nailed. That's it. I've got to find it. I think it was that one, was it? Measure twice, cut once, then get another piece and measure it properly and cut again. Would be good for a crafter, because I feel like especially when we try measuring and cutting things, well I do anyway myself, I end up with about 10 pieces of paper that I've tried doing it with, and it never works out, but there we go. Right, I've just got 3 more here. We'll show these quickly. So I got one there by Sue. Again, look, completely different way of using those mats to make your own card into there. And then this one, look, is just using the front as the actual card itself and bringing those florals in. And we've got another one there with the fox. And then using it in a different way. So you can see even these, you can use those, the oval from the pop-up bit in a completely different way. Should we do some of the... Right, let's go and get a demo. Now, I thought this demo, I've got a demo somewhere using Elevate, because I'm so sorry, but somebody messaged me asking about Elevate. So I've used Elevate in one of my demos, and do you think for the life of me I can see which because I thought it was that demo, but I don't think it is. So we do have Elevate on the website, and it's like a foam sheet. You'll be able to find it on the website, but it is a foam sheet that you can use to give yourself a 3D look with your projects. Now I've got this one. I swear I've got another one somewhere, but I'll just do this one quickly. Now let's use this. Now when you put Elevate onto something, so you're going to get your sheet of whatever it is you're cutting out. So like I've got some on some white here, so you're going to stick this down. So your Elevate comes like this. It's got 2 sheets of the yellow adhesive strip on it. So you peel one side off like so, and then you're going to stick that onto the card that you want to cut out. So like I have, so this is my card. You've still got that on one side, okay? So you've essentially got your card on the other side. Then you're going to pop your die onto there and run that through your die cutting machine. So you'll pop your die on just like you would normal cardstock and run it through your die cutting machine, okay? Now this one is the thinner. There's 2 different depths of Elevate that we have on the website. You have the thinner one and the thicker one. I can't remember the measurements of the depths of them off the top of my head. Now the thicker one, you can use that for things like this, or for your for those bigger dies, okay? The thinner ones I would use for something intricate. Okay, because the thicker that is, the harder it's going to be to cut out, okay? Just like cardstock, the thicker it is, the less that is going to cut out. If you struggle, because if I do it with a manual machine, it doesn't cut out as well as with the electric machine that I use. try using like a metal shim or some cut tidy, and that sometimes gives it the edge that it needs. So you'll see when it cuts out, like I've run these through now, but it stays in. And that's how you get the effect then of, was it Sue that did that card that I just showed you? So you can put the whole sheet down. So when you want to use it, if you're using the whole sheet, you can either just pull that away and pop it onto your project, or if you're cutting something out like this, then you can just cut it out, pull it off like that. So we'll use it like this. I'll just move that now because I'm getting confused with myself. Right, so I've used the oval. So this is from the suspended frame card shape, okay? So again, a different way of using that. I'm using it as my actual card base on its own. So I'm just going to use the oval. So I've cut this out from my card and just scored at the top. So you can see I've got my card. You could even use it like that, couldn't you? Or use it that way. So you've got different ways of using it. But for this one, we're going to use it like that. And then these are going to sit on here. So now if I pull this off of there, you'll see now that has got foam all over it. It's nice and thick, but you've still got, can you see that detail? You've still got all those cut lines, all that detail in there. So now I can pop this on there like that. And can you see now, look, you've got that lovely dimension on there. You can see it, look, and you've got the foam from edge to edge. So you've got no bits that are kind of like drooping. You've got that on there ready to go. So it's lovely, especially when you want to stack things on top as well, because you know you've got that stability then to be able to do that. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing now on the top. So I'm just going to pull that off there. And that in. There. And I can add this one in as well. And do you know one thing I do with my Elevate? I never chuck any of it, because even like that, where I've got those pieces, I will keep those and I'll cut them. So like even if instead of using a bit of foam tape, I'll use them. So you're never wasting anything. So you could, like, if you've got that, just cut that little, just go like that, and then you can just cut around there. And then I can just pop that on there like that. And then I've covered more of him with that than I would have with the foam tape. And he'll just sit there. So I've always got pieces like this just on my desk. And then all those little pieces, I'll just cut into him like that then. And you can do stuff like that. So never throw any of those bits. Once you've finished cutting them out, always keep on to them. Right, so I've got my card shape. Now I've done this white on white because I wanted to add a bit of detail to it, but I didn't want to add in too much because I am going to go in with the, we're kind of going down the men's theme for this one, so I didn't want to add in too much on there. So I've got my beer, so we're going to add them in there, and I'm going to have one sat slightly behind the other one. So I'm going to put this one on flat. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue on there. That's going to go onto there like that, and then this one I'm just going to give it a bit of shape. You know, you do have all of those detail lines in your dies, and they are there to be able to give you shape. So whenever you try shaping anything with carnation, it will just go into that shape because those cut lines have been there and are there designed so that you can go in and give them a shape. So like that now, look, I can add that there, and you can see, look, it makes such a difference. And when you were doing something like that, do put it in with your pin flare or your silicone glue, because if I put foam tape on the back of there now and then put it down, I'm going to squash it back down. So if you do give something a bit of shape like this, just make sure you go in with a silicone glue so that that holds its shape. So that is now going to sit there. Feel. Just put that. Yeah, so that's going to go there. Now we've got one of those sentiments. I've got your heart is bigger than your tool collection, and that's saying something. Now this is going to sit slightly under there like that. So I'm going to put a bit of glue. Is that going to reach the back? So I'll put a bit of glue on the front of that, and a bit of glue on the back of there. And that is just going to sit under there and there like that. We've got that. Is that stuck on? Like that. A bit of glue on that beer. And that'll hold that in place for me then. So we've got that there, and that there like that. Right, so we've got that. Now what I'm going to do is bring in the drill. Now what I'm going to do with this, I want this to kind of stand out. I'm going to put this here like that, but I want it to stand out more than, well, even more than it does already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these up. So this top bit, I'm just going to cut along there. And like I said, it's just 2 snips. And anytime you go in with carnation, you're not fussy cutting. You're just cutting away those little cut lines. So you're always going to have the detail in there. You're never going to cut it and be slightly off, or you know, you've cut it wrong, because those cut lines are in there for you. So you don't have to worry about going in and fussy cutting anything, because you're not doing that. So this bit, I'm going to keep this bit straight, and I'm just going to mold that bit around my finger, because I feel like that bit would be like that, but that bit would actually be flat. I might be completely wrong. I can't tell you the last time I seen a drill I did anything DIY, so I might be completely off, but that's what I'm going with. So that is there, and then this is going to sit there like that. So then this bit, now I'm going to do the same, so I'm just going to give this a bit of shape and add that in there, and then I'm going to add that bit, because I feel that bit's the battery, which is normally quite thicker, so I'm going to add that in so that that bit stands out a bit. So I think I'm right. There might be somebody shouting at the screen being like, you're completely wrong, but I'm going with it. And then we're going to add in the measuring tape, and this I'm going to sit over here like that. So yeah, I'm going to give that a little bit of shape. I'll add that there like that. Now the thing that you can do with these is you can add something else in there, but because I've got that elevate there and because of the shape of the card, if I stand that up now, that is going to hold itself up, so I don't need that stopper there. But if you did want to add in a stopper, obviously you absolutely could, but you can see how that will come together, and I think that makes such a lovely card shape. And that's just using the oval that has been designed to be the pop-out element of the suspended frame card shape. So that is all included. So everything there is included in the Joy of Summer collection. So you can see that is the suspended frame card shape. We also used the measure twice in there, and we used just rewards in there as well. But you can see how big this collection is. I don't feel like I've done a collection this big before. I feel like there's a lot in here. So you've got your card frame to your sentiments. You've got your sunshine friends. Your bloomed in sunlight, which you can only get now in this bundle. It has sold out individually. Countryside features. You've got just rewards. You've got measure twice, perfect flight, forever young, and lawn maintenance in there. Not to mention, you've also got your free background papers that you can download to go with. You've got your artwork to go with all of them as well. Plus, you've got those fun sentiments to go in there as well. So you are getting a whole lot in this collection. Are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, we're at the end of the show. That's flown. That has gone really, really quick. Right, so that is the end of our first show. We are going to be back at 12 though, so go and grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and come back and join us at 12. And we're also going to be back at 2. So if you've got any questions, if you want us to go over something in a bit more detail, anything at all, do give us a message and we will see you back here at 12.